Right, here's a really quick one just to show you why exercising alone isn't the only answer to your fat loss goal. Cool, so what we need to look at is the 4 components to what create energy expenditure, and then we can look at what is the calorie intake and how we can create a reduction or a deficit between the two. So if we look at basal metabolic rate, our BMR, and that pretty much stands for how much energy we burn per day just being ourselves. Now that's influenced by how much muscle mass you have and how much total body mass you have based on how much oxygen you burn throughout the day. On top of that, we have the thermic effect of food, so TEF, so the amount of food that we ingest, we naturally have to burn some energy to try and digest that, which is around about 15 to 30% depending on your body and what type of foods you're eating. From there, this is the big one that most people neglect and is why they sort of struggle to lose so much body fat as fast as they'd like. So this is NEAT, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and it pretty much stands for all the calories that you burn just by moving around all day, not including exercise. So it could be walking, fidgeting, having sex, walking your dog, jumping in the ocean, all those things that might add up over time throughout the day that naturally require oxygen and therefore require calorie expenditure for your body to tick over and metabolize. So just on that note, when you say you have a slow metabolism, it's not actually slow metabolism, it's the fact that you're not doing enough here, whether you know it or unconsciously doing it yourself. Cool, and then on top of that, this is where most people try and out-train a bad diet or out-train a slow metabolism by exercising. Now, if you look at that, training's probably only 1 hour of your day, and depending on how hard you train, whether you're doing CrossFit or just jumping on the treadmill, it's going to determine how much calories you put out. But even saying that, a really hard CrossFit workout, you're probably only going to burn maybe 10% of your daily expenditure in that 1 hour. So unless you're going to be able to train for 3 to 4 hours a day and maybe outweigh how much calories you're eating, I suggest trying to increase these things here so you can actually make a bigger impact on your diet. Now, that's not to say that training is a waste of time, because obviously if we look at this, calories in for the day, we're matching up to all those extra things, and then training is going to help us get that little bit of a deficit. So if you can adjust or manipulate any of these variables, you're going to be able to create a deficit in the nutrition that comes in and the expenditure that goes out. So play around with how much calories you're intaking, and obviously play around with how much total daily energy expenditure you've got on the output, and that's how you can manipulate that variable and see if you can get yourself in a deficit. What we're looking for is roughly anywhere between 200 to 500 calories per day. Now, if you add that up across the week, it ends up being 3,500 calories per week. Now, the trick is making sure you do it every day, because 500 calories a day isn't that much. On the flip side, you can easily overeat 500 calories and blow your whole week out of proportion. So that's why it takes so long to drop some body fat and so quick to put it back on, is it's really hard to get that deficit, and it requires marginal gains over a long period of time. So stick at it, get the marginal gains over a long period of time, and you'll start to see that body fat strip off.